There we go.
Right. All right, welcome to the December 19th, 2024 Monroe County Planning Board meeting. We have a couple of votes today, and we do have a quorum, so but let me call roll so we get that on. Bill Santos, I'm here. Mike Wiedemer.
Here.
Sam Trapani. Andrew Hollister. Orlando Rivera.
Here.
Andrew, come on in. Scoot up the chair. Thank you. Andrew Hollister. Thank you. Dave Watson. Millie Safranek.
Here.
Robert Colby. Here. Rachel Barnhart. Jeff McCann. Adrian Green. Amy Grower. Laura Smith.
Here.
Robert Franklin.
Here.
Joe Taddeo.
Here.
Richard Tantallo.
Here.
Christina Doherty, Mike Garland, and Sean Murphy.
Here.
And then Lisa or Patrick, would you like to introduce some staff?
Yes, so joining us today, we have Lisa Antoon from the planning office, Pat Gooch from the planning office, Josh Peterson from the law department, and then we have from MCC, Quinn Rhodes and Antonio Costada. And I believe that's it.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming out. First item on the agenda is the election of the 2025 chair and the vice chair. I just have to remind people that it's just citizen board members that can nominate and vote. So there are 4 appointed by the county exec, 1 or 3 by the legislature, and 1 from the EMC. So the chair would like to call nominations for chair candidates.
I didn't check with you first, Bill, but I'd like to nominate Bill Santos for chair.
Thank you. Is there a second for that? Oh, I think it's just community members. That can- Yeah,
Okay,
sorry
I'll
about
second.
that. Okay, thank you. So, by Mike and Orlando. Are there any other nominations for chair? Come on. Anyone wants to do this job? Come on. Okay, well, if there's no other nominations, I'd like a motion to close nominations. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mike. Seconded by Mike. All in favor of closing the nominations, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, that is motion, the nominations are closed. Since there's one name, we're gonna just skip to one motion, and that's to have a motion for Bill Santos to be chair of the Monroe County Planning Board for the year of 2025. All in favor? Please. Thank you.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. All right,
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I'd like to, the next item is nominations for vice chair, and I'd like to nominate Mike Wiedemer. Is there a second for that? Thank you, Andrew. Mike. Bill and Andrew. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? No, come on. Come on. All right, well, hearing none, I'd like to close the nominations. I need a motion to do that. Thank you, Millie. Thank you, David. All in favor of closing the nominations, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Great. With one name in, I need a motion for, sorry, let me get to that spot. I need a motion for Mike Wiedemer to be vice chair of the Monroe County Planning Board for the year of 2025. Thank you, Millie. Thank you, David. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Congratulations, Mike. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the 2024 meeting minutes, and they were emailed to you And I need a motion for those, please.
So,
Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Franklin. Thank you, Mr. Colby. Any discussion on those? Any corrections or revisions? Comments? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Great, minutes are approved. We're on to item 3, announcements and communications. There is one item on here. Lisa, do you want to talk about that?
We're just sending out the completed meeting schedule, so I'll just hand those around. You probably have them via email, but.
Great. Just let us know if you can't make something. A reminder, we need 8 present to have a quorum. And then, so if you can't make it, but we have the 8, you can always zoom in as well. So. I think there's something in the rules that you're supposed to email us if you can't make it or something, or if you have to go by Zoom or something by Zoom. Just for a reminder. Great. Any other announcements? Board members? Staff? Any other announcements?
anybody say anything to embarrass Laura?
Not yet.
You're not getting away that easily.
Any announcements? or-
I will share that Josh Peterson is now going to support the planning board on behalf of the law department. So I'm going to instead turn the attention to Josh.
You get deflecting.
Welcome Josh to the planning board.
Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, Laura, for all your help over the years. You're still at the county or?
I'll share, especially in this group, my first love was always land use. And I had an opportunity to go back to private practice to do land use.
Oh, nice.
So I'm very excited, but very sad.
Yeah, congrats. Yeah, thank you for being here. Easy to see you.
Thank you for letting me come to planning.
Oh. Yeah, welcome, Josh. Thank you for not taking 2 steps back. Right. Any other announcements? Hearing none, we'll move on to action items. The only one on the docket is to amend the 2024 capital budget to add a project entitled Applied Technology Center STEM Edition, and to expand the scope and increase the funding for the Applied Technology Center STEM Edition project in the amount of $15 million. I need a motion for that, please. Thank you, Mike. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Who would? Robert? Okay. Great. And Quint's here. Welcome.
Sean's got
it. Oh, Sean, okay, great.
And then he'll answer all the tough questions.
Yeah.
2 steps back, is that what I'm supposed to do?
There you go.
All right. So the first slide always just has the letter to the board, just to memorialize why we're here. It's to ask for the additional $15 million. And I say additional, I'll talk about that a little bit in the future, but next slide. Just to remind everybody why we're here, the current Applied Technology Center is located on West Henrietta Road, across from Ortiz Ford and just by Theaters Time or whatever they're called. But it's an older building. There was an original project that went back, I think, to 2014, almost 10 years ago, that was called the STEM Edition. So you'll hear this being called the STEM Edition, which is kind of a misnomer at this point. The idea was to put a 20,000 square foot 2-story building on the east side of the building to add STEM capabilities at that facility. But because of the desire to maybe incorporate the STEM activities that are already going on in the Brighton campus, relocate ATC over to where the STEM activities are rather than kind of have it split up between 2. In addition, there's a significant amount of deferred maintenance on this building to the tune of several $1 million. So in addition to paying for a new addition to the building, there's a lot of money that would have to go into the building itself to bring it up to snuff. So with that, there was a decision made to bring or create a new ATC facility on the Brighton campus, and that's what we're here to talk about today. As this project was going forward, MCC started to develop a little bit more of their optics program. So there was an expansion to the optics program. You'll see that here in a little bit also. So this will just show you where it's at. There's MCC, north is to the top of the page. So in the west, southwest corner, there's a large parking lot next to the athletic facilities in Building 9 that we're gonna consume and put a new building in there, a new about 112,000 square foot building. That'll just give you an idea of where it is physically. So the next slide will just give you an idea of what's coming over. This is ATC, does auto tech, HVAC, tooling and machining. And then in the dark bluish teal color, whatever you want to call that, that's where the new optics will, I say new, it's an existing program, but that's where optics will be expanded to be incorporated into this new facility. And then in the little square box in the bottom, the green thing, that's an outdoor storage facility that will get built most likely in a future phase. And then on the second page, that's there's a second floor, and that's really HVAC. There's a solar tech lab up there, and on the right-hand side, kind of that, not colorblind, but what do you call it, chartreuse maybe? I don't know. That's common space, so that's classroom space. What can I tell you? Right? That's common space that gets shared by all that's going on. So again, now the STEM programs being at the campus now can be held in these classrooms rather than everybody schlepping over to West Henrietta Road to do that same type of thing. On the next page, this will just give you an idea. It's just a rendering of what it's going to look like. So north is to the left, the 2 stories are that the smaller block, and then on the right-hand side is actually like the auto bays and all that, where all the auto mechanic activity is going to go on. And then on the next slide, just give you a little bit different view. Next slide, that's fine. Yep, thanks. Oh, well, there you go. Okay. So just to let everybody know, again, we're asking for 15 million additional. This has already gone through a bunch of iterations. It was in the 2022 to 2027 CIP. And you can see on the right, it's not very easy to see, but on the right-hand side, you know, it went from 23 to 26. There was $34.6 million that was identified over that time frame. Because of MCC's desire to get this project moving forward with everything that's going on with optics, was identified in the master plan. We amended the 22 to 27 CIP to advance the whole 34.6 million to 22. So just to remind everybody about that, how it happened, you know, it happened. And then in 24 to 29 CIP, we added an additional $10 million for the optics portion of the program. So with that, we had, right, $54.6 million. At that point, the $34 million was developed from the master plan. That was strictly for the ATC portion, was developed in the 21 MCC master plan. So the opinion of probable cost for that was developed actually back in 2020, 2019, pre-COVID, the typical pre-COVID stuff. So in March, as we were developing the estimate, we identified the need for additional money because of the COVID-related escalation that normally happens. The building itself that was identified as an 80,000 square foot building for ATC bumped up to about 82, so went up by 6%, which from master planning to actually design development is not all that bad. That's a pretty good thing. But in optics was identified as maybe about a 20,000 square foot need, and that's where the 20 million, or the 20 million came from. But the actual reality is when we had interaction with MCC and what the program was going to look like as it was further developed, actually turned out to be a little bit larger building. So as a result of that, there was the need for additional money. And let me step back a little bit. The 34, I told you, we identified that as being a $10 million delta for the escalation just for the ATC. In the 20 million from optics, we identified an additional 5 million that was needed for the growth of that space. So as a result of that, we needed an additional 15 million.
That's for the 15.
So in here, we list how that's all broken down. We received bids. The other part of what we did is when we knew about this back in March and we're going out to bid, we reached out to the administration. We told them that we're going to have this need. MCC reached out to SUNY to make sure that they were willing to contribute their half, their 50%, which they did. And we decided to proceed forward, get the bids, and then be able to have bid certainty. So we're asking the amount of money we need, not asking for 10 and then coming back and saying, oh, by the way, we need another 5, right? So that's why we decided to do that. So construction's $52 million. We did have received bids from a reputable contractor, getting ready to, well, it was approved by the legislature on Tuesday. So getting ready to move forward with that. Contingency, which is about 10%, is $6.9 million. And then soft costs, which is design, CM, FF&E, some work that's already been done, is about 11 million, which is about 16%. So these numbers are very consistent to what we see normally on projects. So the overall project cost, 74% is construction. We usually say about 25% or 75%, so we're right on with that. And then the rest of it is soft costs and contingency. So a reminder, SUNY pays for half, right? So the additional 15 we're asking for is really 7.5 from the county. And then we also have a HUD grant of $3.5 million that we've already received. So we're already processing all that paperwork.
Does the HUD grant go towards our half or the split?
Our half. Yeah. We won't split it. We don't have to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You may have asked this before. What happens to the building on West Henrietta Road?
So because the county owns that in trust with MCC, that there's a SUNY requirement, we have to go back out for appraisals and dispose of it in the proper format.
You're gonna sell it.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
sell it, right, that's the bottom line.
So where
Yes.
would the profit come or the revenue from that end up?
Into the Bob's pocket to pay for the bonds.
If we sell it prior to completion of the new project, revenue will go to the new capital project and reduce everyone's share. If the building is sold after the project's complete, we'll have to pay SUNY their half, and then the county
So
retains its half.
half the cost of that building goes back, or half of the revenue goes back to the SUNY system one way or another. Half,
Right.
because that's the way it was purchased. Okay.
And with all the real property assets, it's 50-50 ownership.
If it was acquired with SUNY support, yes.
Do we have
So the
any,
So the campus is that way then.
That's right.
are the majority of the real property assets? Were they funded with SUNY support originally?
The MCC property assets were, yes. Not the majority of county assets, obviously.
Right, yeah.
So is the campus that's downtown, the Joe Cornet building, is that half and half?
Not exactly half and
Uh,
half, but because there was MCC foundation support for the green roof, I believe, correct, Quentin, John?
Sure, but I can definitely get back to him.
Yeah, I really,
Approximately,
Yeah.
in the real world
Yeah.
about that, except for some nuances.
An example would be the career center, right, that we're doing, that we came to the group here. This might be the last thing. None of that's being funded by SUNY. I think that's all being done by other grants, and other.
There is a portion.
Oh, there is a SUNY thing in that? Okay. Yeah,
So whatever percentages, if they only gave us 25%, it'd be 75, 25 or vice versa.
Any other questions for Sean?
Projected enrollment for the students in those programs, in that building?
The exact number I do not have off the top of my head. I do know that optics has the ability to grow to about 500 with the new space. So that it's a significant growth opportunity for them. As far as the existing ATC programs, I don't have an exact number, but I can't get back to you for their expected growth over the.
Just curious about the growth, and even do you have a limit that you're going to place on students coming into those programs because of space? Or is the space sufficient for unlimited growth?
I'm sure it's not for unlimited, but just based more on our teaching capacity than anything else. But I will get a firm number for the expected enrollment.
Will it be able to accommodate more students than the current ATC building is able to accommodate?
yes, I think we're putting in additional bays, right, a couple of additional auto bays and then more classroom space. And of course, the fact that it's adjacent to the college, the whole rest of the college then becomes accessible as far as, actual classroom teaching.
And will these be planned as credit bearing courses? I know it's not.
There's a little bit of both within the CTE classes. So there are some non-credit bearing programs that are at the current ATC building that will transfer over. But there are many credit bearing courses.
Does this satisfy most of the requests from the master plan? Is that,
Yeah,
this is where the seed is coming from, right?
This
So
was
the new
the
master,
crown jewel of the master plan
right?
effort. just this building, but getting it onto the Brighton campus. It was the top priority there because of all the synergies it creates as far as a STEM hub on campus, all the synergies between really creating a better student environment for our ATC students who kind of are on our own island
Right.
over at, and I always say across the state, right? I never mentioned the car dealerships.
Well, it's next to the movie theater too, right?
Right.
I was thinking Jay Center. So,
Okay.
but yeah, they're, they don't have the same kind of student experience as our
Right.
Brighton campus students or our downtown students. There's no cafeteria, there's lounges, but it's just not the same. So they're gonna now get the college, true college atmosphere, college vibe.
Are you going to get parking problem, taking out the parking lot or?
No, we will have less parking. We did do a little bit of study on that. I think we're gonna lose about 200 spaces total. But we have plenty of parking right now. We don't have the same challenge we had back when I was here. People were parking on the lawn, right? That's the story all the time. So we kind of benefit in the fact that our parking numbers are down right now. But yeah, we're taking out half of a major parking lot to do this project, and we're also losing the spots over at ATC, but it's not impacting our current need at all.
On that floor plan that you showed in the slide, was that purple area, that was the optics program that you came before us previously, like last year, I think it was,
That might have been for the micro credentials lab.
oh, maybe that was,
Optic, like the gel color,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
optics. right?
okay. Did that come before us previously?
Yeah, the micro credentials, that's renovation work that's happening inside.
That's, okay, that's what I thought I recognized that, I was just,
I was actually gonna identify it, but I don't know if that would confuse people, but glad you asked. So it is a renovation. Again, going back to Bob's philosophy on bonding, right?
Yeah.
The bonding for the current project is new construction. And then the micro credentials came about, so that's a renovation aspect.
Yeah.
Different bond.
but it's still part of the same master plan it was called for, and we're checking off boxes towards that.
Yeah,
Master
the
plan.
optics growth, I don't think it's identified as directly as the ATC building is, which is kind of why it wasn't included, or part of why it wasn't included in the original estimate in the master plan for ATC. So the expansion of optics is part of, I think, the general growth of our CTE programs. It's just not, there wasn't a building renovation necessarily incorporated into the master plan.
We're not going backwards anywhere. We're like, we renovated something and now it's, oh, we're gonna do that and have a space that was renovated for something else, and
No,
none of that's going, okay. It is
it's all positive.
nice. Are there any other items on the master plan that, we as a board need to start planning for? And I know you had some items in the CIP, so.
Yeah, there's the services for students renovation project that's in the CIP is the big one. That's to create they're trying not to use the term one-stop shop. That's the one people are most familiar with. I think centralized services is the new term.
Right.
That is still a big one. Still a major need on campus. And that's really probably the hottest one, and continued investment in property preservation. We have some significant deferred maintenance needs.
Yeah.
In 2020 dollars, we were at close to 100 million in needs, and that's gone up, and the things continue to get older and more disrepair. So, those are the major immediate needs. But we have a few things that are a little later in the CIP. Another one is our virtual learning center. It's a project that is in the CIP. Phase one of it is in the CIP and was funded previously. We are going to look to add money to continue that project forward. So those are probably the highest priority right now. Trying to picture our
That's fine. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but you have the whole report memorized, right? So, yeah.
But I think to that point too, there's a new master plan effort coming about, which then potentially be prioritized things that are going on with the campus.
Yes, that's okay. So we just engaged with JMZ Architects to do an addendum to our master plan. So the current master plan is really good and it's flexible and adaptable. So it allows for us to kind of adjust as money comes in or, money goes out. We don't get enough, so we can move it around. But we do need to update it and incorporate some of the changes, our new strategic plan, our new strategic enrollment plan, and even our academic master plan. There's some new things that have come up since the master plan was put in place. So we're going to take those things and kind of work with JMZ to do an addendum to this plan to make sure that every project that's in there is still a priority, or maybe they can come out and identify some things that people are saying are priorities and it needs to be focused on, but they're not in the master plan yet. One, just it's not out there yet, but it's we talked about health and wellness and how do we improve our counseling and health services space on campus, but it's not in the plan yet. It needs to be vetted, studied, figured out where it can go. We try to do a renovation, not a new building. Like we need to work through all those things. So we have some major work in addition to building and applied technologies, and we have some other major projects and things going.
Any other questions? Hearing none.
I'll make a motion that we approve the addition to the capital plan for MCCs.
So
I want to say STEM, but I'm not supposed to say STEM project.
Yeah,
And that's the technical name of it. So
Okay,
Yeah,
STEM
yeah.
project.
okay, good. Mike moved it and you seconded it, so
Sure.
we're good. But hearing no other discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Everybody opposed? Any abstentions? Great. Nice job. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate all the support all the way
Yes.
through this. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I forgot. that we did it.
Yeah,
It was
that's
so
all
long
right.
ago.
It was.
But you're right,
Yeah,
you're supposed to have it moved before you have.
Yeah,
discussion.
discussion, right. All right. You're right, that's all I'm going by, yeah. Any other business for today? Any other announcements? Hearing none, our next scheduled meeting is January 30th, at our regular meeting time, 3:30. And I do need a motion for adjournment. Thank you, Robert. Is there a second? Thank you, Andrew. All in favor?
Aye.
And have a great holiday, everybody.